Dusty, welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
What are we going to talk about today?
Well, because I've been watching some of these recently, we're going to talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're going to go through the movies in a chronological order of how the storyline goes, and we're going to talk about some of our favorites. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Mish Men. I haven't been here in a couple weeks. I am Dustin Labar, and to my left is Mr. Adam Mauser.
How do you do? And welcome back. I missed you last two episodes.
Weeks,
yeah.
We had to do some, we had family in town and things have been busy, and Caleb stepped in the clutch to make things happen. And
yeah.
I know that they're good episodes, so it was good. I heard a lot of good feedback. A couple people said that Caleb did a really good job.
Yeah, he did. He did a good job.
Thanks to Caleb for jumping in and being the hero on that one, so we didn't miss a week. We do our best on behind the scenes to not miss a week.
That's right.
And crunch schedules and do what we need to do to make it happen. So it just wasn't going to happen for those couple episodes. And Caleb to the rescue. So
yeah, it worked out really well.
Yeah, good. So today I'm going to tell you why we're talking about this. So I started watching again the Marvel Cinematic Universe, especially when I was sick.
Oh, that's right.
When you're sick.
Yeah, I'm welcome back from being sick.
Thank you. That was pretty terrible, but yeah, it was not fun. One of the worst ones I've had. So, but I'm back. Antibiotics are amazing. I'm back at it, and so I started watching the Marvel Cinematic. I've already seen them multiple times, most of them.
You're talking about the core ones from Iron Man all the way up to Endgame.
Yes, and then a few passed into the next phase.
Yeah.
So, so I started watching them, and I was like, kind of watching them. I was like, man, I forgot how good these are, and I've watched through them several times. Are you up to date on all of them? Have you seen all of them?
All of the core ones,
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
After the end game, I kind of lost interest because it looked like they kind of lost the magic, and that was like a nice final chapter.
Yeah, it was.
We're done because the other stuff that was kind of forced.
There's been a couple of them that in the new ones that are good. We'll talk about those. I have the list here. I'm gonna run through it. We don't have to talk a lot about all of them, but I thought we'd run through it in order just so we can talk about, which I think is cool that they've laid out this body of work especially for that first phase. That's movies that were released at totally different times, and they were able to tie in and reach back and have like Easter eggs in certain movies. And
yeah,
because I was right. I think Iron Man came out in 2008. Which was like one of the first ones. And that's like, I was 2 years out of high school. And I remember seeing it, but you don't think anything of it. Like, wow, this is probably going to be a 12-year commitment for me to watch all these. Like,
right, yeah.
All these are going to come out. But as I wasn't really big into superhero movies or comics or anything. And then you see the first one, you're like, that's pretty good. I mean, I don't know really a lot about Iron Man. And then the next one comes out and you're like, okay, I'm starting to get into the story, and they start tying stuff together, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, that's the big thing for me because I wasn't a Marvel guy. I was a DC guy because they were like the preeminent. They were the ones that Marvel copied.
Yeah.
For the most part in comic world. And then with Iron Man, it still had kind of like that feel of like the cheaper movies, but it was like, it was a good movie. And Robert Downey Jr., he's a marquee actor.
Yeah.
And then it started building, just like you said. Yeah. I know we'll get into it, but it was good.
Yeah, I was going to just say that, like, DC flopped terribly on their
multiple times
on their attempt, especially to match the universe, the universal idea. Like, because there had always been throughout the years, for 25, 30 years at this point, they've had different iterations of Batman come out. Mm-hmm. And everybody can just live with the fact that they don't tie together. I like Batman. It's like James Bond. Who's the new James Bond?
Yeah.
It's like, who's going to be the new Batman? And now they're like, well, maybe we should try to do what they're doing, because they're tying a bunch of things in together. And, there was that issue with the Dan Snyder, like the ending of that, like the Justice League, where then he had his cut after, because he had somebody in his family's daughter maybe got
his
sick,
daughter, yeah.
And they came back, and the Zack Snyder cut was better, but it was not Endgame.
No,
I mean, it was not Endgame. It's like if Endgame took a 6 months off training.
It was shoddy.
Yeah, I agree. So
the characters, they weren't melded together. It was just like,
And Batman's like a big staple. Like, I think everybody pretty consistently likes Batman, I feel like.
Batman was like the groundbreaker. Now, granted, I think it was 1978, the Superman movie came out with Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
And then he had a couple more after that. 2 was okay, and then it just got ridiculous. And that was kind of it.
Yeah.
And then Batman came out in 1989.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Tim Burton movie. Michael Keaton. They were kind of laughing because he's a comedian. Michael Keaton was a comedian.
Yeah.
They became an actor. And then
Jack Nicholson was in that.
Jack Nicholson. It was like, okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
And then, they had the different Batmans, like you said, but they could never put it together. I don't think they were trying then.
Yeah.
But now they're trying, and it's just like, come on, you got to do better.
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess because people's expectations is so, like, Marvel really did a good job tying those movies in together. It's unbelievable.
I think the key to it was the leadership. They had this coherent thing that they were going to do. They had it compartmentalized, so you didn't know what you were going to be tying into until you saw the movie.
Right,
you might have been an actor in it.
Right. That's right. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some element to that that's important. But let's talk about some of these. They're in chronological order of how the movie should go, not its release date.
Right.
Does that make sense? So for those of you listening, if you're like, well, that movie didn't come out first. Yes, we're aware. This is the way that it would be ordered if you watched it for the whole storyline to make sense.
Right.
The first one was Captain America: The First Avenger.
Right.
So that's where the story starts.
That was good.
Chris, what's his name? Chris
Evans.
Evans is such a good Captain America.
Yeah.
First off, jacked. I was watching this the other day, and I've been doing bodybuilding at the gym, and I was like, I think it's my goal just for my arms to look like I don't care about anything else. Mm-hmm. He is jacked in that movie. Not the first scene. He looks.
I thought you were talking about the first scene.
I mean, he's slender. He's slender.
Slim.
Yeah, he's slim and trim, but
spindly.
I think that movie, to me, is very well done. Like, I like it. It's not like the other ones really, because it's like kind of getting a story, like it's a different time period, essentially. But it's done really well, and Chris Evans is really, really, really good at really good at what he does in that movie. So, thoughts?
Loved it. In fact, I just saw that one recently. Josh, my youngest, wanted to watch it. So I watched. I was kind of in and out because I've seen it 100 times, but it's still worth watching because it's so good.
When he walks out of the chamber for the first time, you're like, my God, that's a man. And he's like the all-American guy.
Right.
He's like, for America. And you're like, yeah. It's like Dave Falls' new tattoo.
That's, gosh.
For America.
Dave wouldn't listen to this podcast, so.
Yeah, he won't listen to it, so I can say whatever I want. The next in the order would be Captain Marvel.
Yes.
So Captain Marvel, I believe in the comic books was a man, and I think that was a big deal that she was a woman in this one. I think that's correct.
Captain Marvel is one of those weird things because it was a DC character.
I don't think I knew this.
And then there was some kind of, it's been a while since I looked at it, but Captain Marvel was a DC character that turned into, because of Marvel comic books,
being like, hey,
I think they bought the name or something like that because DC wasn't using it or something like that. And I'm sure there's a nerd out there that's going to correct me on this, but that's okay. Captain Marvel became Shazam is what I heard through the grapevine just now. Okay,
that's good. That's good. You have Neuralink in your brain?
I do.
Okay.
Well, the grapevine because purple.
Oh, okay. I got you. That makes sense. So Captain Marvel, okay movie. I watch it. I like it. It's okay.
I liked it because there were connections
to
movies that had already come out and were getting ready to come out.
Yes, correct. I also don't like the power they gave her, like in terms of like, this is just me being stupid, but like at sometimes they'll allude to the fact that they're like, she's basically unbeatable.
She's like Superman.
They're like, nobody could beat her. And then, but sometimes somebody will punch her and then she goes to the ground. I was like, well, which is it?
Yeah.
Is she the most powerful superhero or is she not? You can't have it both ways.
And there's like this cosmic event that's happening that's completely affecting the entire universe, and she's off on another planet because other people need help too.
Yeah, and she's like, other people need it. It's like, okay, well, you're from here.
Yeah.
So get here and help us. But there's like points that later on where she's fighting, I could say it, Thanos, and you're like, are you the most powerful superhero or not?
Right.
Are you or are you not? Because he dispatched you pretty easily, but then you're also like, I just blew his ship up by flying through it pretty easily. So
right.
It's like, okay, well, I don't understand. So I
she should have just laughed when he tried messing with her.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. So that was kind of like, meh.
And kind of like Thor also.
Yeah, he has the same kind of thing. Like, is he a god or can you hurt him? I'm not sure which one it is. Can you kill him or can you not? Yeah. It's kind of, they almost leave it up for like, well, I don't know.
But the cool thing is there was that scene, and we'll get to it later.
Okay.
Oh man, that
which
scene
one?
At the end of Endgame.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's one of the best scenes in any superhero movie ever.
Yeah, there's some. Yeah, I agree. Iron Man, and then we can just go Iron Man 2. Those are the next ones in succession.
Yeah.
So Robert Downey Jr. gets out as, Iron Man. It's a great story. Iron Man is a great story. Like how he becomes Iron Man. It's just this dude. He's like in a cave and he's like, I gotta get myself out, and then creates a superhero
and kind of changes his perspective on life.
Yeah, he's not
as a result. So there's a transformation that happens.
Yeah, he's no longer an arms dealer dealing to like both sides, and he's like, I need to save the world. And then he just he's like it's one of every guy's dreams. It's like if I was a millionaire, it's a Batman thing. If I was a billionaire, I would just make this crazy suit and I'd be a superhero.
Right.
And then nobody could screw with me. It'd be awesome. Because he really is like, he's a cool dude. Like he's funny, he's intelligent. I mean, ultra intelligent, and then he also is a super robot that can do whatever he wants. And
when he's got a suit on.
Yeah.
It got a little ridiculous with the suits that they just turned into with quote unquote nanotechnology.
Yeah, where it molds into different spots.
Yeah, and like his clothes turned into a suit.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's a superhero movie, so you have to suspend disbelief.
Yeah.
While you're watching the movie. I get it, but
like it takes some of that to me, like I think the tech is fine. Like I can get on, like it's a superhero movie, like the tech. But there's something dramatic about when Iron Man would do his thing to get his suit on, like whatever that thing was. Like if he's like putting wristbands on and flying, and the suit catches him, or like that helmet clanks.
Right.
You're like, that's cool. And then the nanobots, he's like beep beep. It's like
it's the if you remember Deus Ex Machina. It's Latin for God of the Machine.
Oh no!
So in movies or any kind of story, the Deus Ex Machina is the thing that's really unexplained. It's really just one of those things that it moves the story along and explains a lot of things. And it's usually a dramatic thing where it happens. When it happens, it keeps the story going. It seems like this impossible situation. The Deus Ex Machina comes in and then poof.
Okay, makes sense. Then Iron Man 2 that was like the next movie in line, and that's where he fights that dude from Russia or wherever Eastern Bloc country he's from.
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
And which is just a great continuation of that storyline with him, because you get to see his, like, he's obviously, they're making a point to show you that he's progressing his technology with the Iron Man suit and keep moving forward, and it's a good storyline.
I like the who was the villain in that besides Mickey Rourke? It was that guy.
Oh yeah.
That dude is hilarious. He is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, he is fine. I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah,
and that dude can dance.
Hammer. Martin Hammer is his name in the movie.
Yeah,
and then I forget his name as
it'll come to me
actor,
probably like on the drive home.
You're like, that's it. Hit record. The Incredible Hulk. This is
which one?
The one that they're talking about is the one with the better of the two.
Well, there were three.
Two that I'm thinking of are the one is with Eric Bana.
Eric Bana.
That's a crappy
Ed
one.
Norton.
Ed Norton is the one that they're talking about.
Okay, and then didn't what's his name have? Mark Ruffalo have a standalone?
He did not have a standalone.
Oh, okay, he just joined.
He never had a standalone.
I assumed he did.
There was obviously the original Hulk. I should say that before people were like, "What about the?"
Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk.
That show, Dukes of Hazzard, and there was another show I watched as a little kid.
They definitely changed the Hulk's abilities from Lou Ferrigno to Eric Bana, and Eric Bana's one he could jump, 400 miles in one leap and do all this wild stuff. But Ed Norton's is pretty good. Mark Ruffalo's a better Hulk.
Yeah.
Just in general. Like, I wish he was in that movie. But it's a good movie. It's all right. The bad guy in that movie, he was on a show called Lie to Me, and I love that movie, or that show. It's a really good show, so I like him as an actor.
I didn't like the Ed Norton one, the Ed Norton version. I like the Eric Bana one better.
You like the Eric Bana one better?
I'm sorry.
You got to be one of the few people on earth that likes that. We should do a Rotten Tomatoes look and see which one is less liked. No, they don't feel. Mabry's a big Hulk guy, and he doesn't feel like they've ever done Hulk right.
They haven't.
So
yeah, not a standalone.
Yeah, that's right. Then we have Thor.
That was a good.
So Thor, obviously, if you've watched these, Thor changed aggressively over his movies a lot. Like his movies, like he became very funny, really like it's a comical side of things versus like when he started, he was very like what you would think like a strict god is and like has all these, whatever. But
when it happened?
Love and Thunder?
No, not
Ragnarok. Ragnarok.
And I heard, it's been a while since I looked into this. When they did Thor Ragnarok, they didn't intend initially to do that, but then there were a number of scenes that were just kind of ached for some kind of retort.
Yeah.
And so they just kind of played into that.
Yeah.
And then they might have reshot the other scenes, but then that's one of my favorite movies.
When Hulk or when a Thor becomes that comedic Thor, like he's still awesome and he's so cool in the movies, like what he does. Like he's still like super tough and can fight, and you like love that part of him, but adding that comedic twist into it is perfect. Unbelievable.
I don't like it when he turned like milquetoast by the end of the series.
You mean like chunky?
The chunky part, and then after that, he was just like, "Woe is me." It's whatever.
Yeah, I got.
I don't want to be a leader anymore.
Yeah, I got you.
Tough.
Did you see the most recent one, Love and Thunder?
No.
Okay, you should watch it.
Is it milquetoast Thor?
No, it's good.
Okay,
it's good.
I'll watch it then.
Yeah, it's good. There's some funny scenes in it, like where. Do you watch it? Yeah, there's some funny scenes in it where like.
We have a live studio audience. By the way.
I was talking to our studio audience when I just said, "Have you seen it?"
We need a laugh track.
Yeah, there's some really funny parts where like, Stormbreaker is acting like a jealous girlfriend. Every time he looks at the hammer, like Stormbreaker will like float next to his face, and he's like, "What?" Like, I wasn't doing anything. It's just really funny. Then we have after Thor, we have the first iteration of the Avengers.
Right.
Which I think is a fantastic movie.
It is good.
One of my favorite. That was one that I watched like just the past day or two. I mean, it's a great movie. It's just a great movie.
Now, is that with where they're fighting each other because of what's his name, Thor's brother? Okay, so it's not.
Yeah, Loki.
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 So they end up arguing with each other because he's got him bickering against each other inside the floating aircraft carrier.
Yes, correct. I thought you were talking about Captain America, Civil War, when they were actually fighting against each other. But yeah, that's the one with Loki, and that's the first time they actually get together. That Nick Fury is bringing them all together as part of his grand plan to do that. And it's a great movie. It's a great ending on it, and it carries it carries well. Then you have Iron Man 3, still a great one. Tony Stark dealing with like a lot of the demons that he had dealt with.
Yeah,
that's the one with the Mandarin as the evil person.
The Mandarin.
Yeah, it's like they're sent like, and Tony Stark says like the Mandarin come see me at my house, and then they blow his house up, but it was this guy that's turned himself into raging hot liquid magma because he can change his.
I know I saw it. I just can't picture it. I need to maybe watch that one again.
Then there's Thor: Dark World, just okay. I personally didn't like it. It's okay.
Yeah,
just okay.
Agreed.
Yeah, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. That's where he finds out his friend Bucky still alive.
That's a good one.
It's a good one. I like that little like Bucky's still alive, and sometimes he's just a mass murderer, and sometimes he's like, what? Steve, what's up, man?
Yeah. Hey, buddy.
Then you have Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. Laura, my wife's favorite movies.
I like Guardians, and I like, is it 2 where Thor starts coming in? Or am I thinking of, now I'm starting to, because the storyline merges, and now it's the storyline that I remember.
Thor meets Guardians of the Galaxy in Infinity War.
Okay. All right, we'll get to that one.
Floating on the ship.
That's right. They run into him.
Yeah. It's an angel pirate or something like that. I
like the music in
Guardians of the Galaxy.
The Galaxy, and our live studio audience, they're a big fan of that music track.
Yeah, it's great music. It's a good storyline. It's fun the way like Peter Quill's funny.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt plays awesome. Peter Quill. It's a really good movie. It's a really good movie. Then the least favorite Avengers movie of everybody is Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
I like that one. I don't think it's that bad.
It's not the worst to me, and it's got Robert, what's his name? Whose voices Ultron?
Oh, yeah, he's in the Blacklist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robert California from The Office.
Oh my gosh.
That's who you're talking about. Yeah.
He has got the best comedic delivery.
Yeah, he does.
Because it's just so dry and solid.
Yes.
Like everything he's ever been in, it's just funny to watch him because he's so nuanced and hilarious to me.
Yeah, he's a great actor, and he plays the voice of Ultron is very good.
Yeah.
The voice of Ultron very good. And that's a fun movie, I think. That's when Vision comes in.
Yeah.
They create Vision. Then we have Ant-Man.
I liked Ant-Man.
It's a funny movie.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd is great in it. He's a superhero.
Yeah.
It's what you want it to be. He's funny. he's funny. He's quick witted. He does the normal Paul Rudd like wit and like humor, and it's a good movie.
And his buddies are hilarious.
Yeah, the Mexican
little
dude,
scene. Oh my gosh,
he's so funny
when he recreates a scene.
Yeah. Then one we talked about a little bit earlier, Captain America: Civil War. That's where the Sokovia Accords happened because of the Age of Ultron movie. And they're arguing about whether they should sign the Sokovia Accords because, they shouldn't just be this rebel faction of superheroes that can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Steve Rogers doesn't think they should sign them. Tony Stark says yes. They split off into teams and they basically battle each other. And that's when Tony Stark finds out that the Winter Soldier actually killed his parents.
Right.
Spoiler alert. If I just ruined somebody's day, I apologize. But that's what happened.
What about Time Out?
Yeah.
Quicksilver in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
And then he was also in the X-Men franchise, which is separate because they're owned by they're not owned by Marvel Studios. They're owned by whoever else, Sony or something.
I think they're owned by Marvel now. They bought them.
Oh, okay.
Because they're tying it in now. You know that there's a Deadpool Wolverine movie coming out?
I heard about that.
It's actually like happening with like trailers and stuff. It's going to be good. Yeah. I love Deadpool.
I like Quicksilver in that X-Men Days of Future Past. That dude was hilarious. And that scene where he's in, when they're trying to break out Magneto.
Yeah.
And from the Pentagon. And then like they're about ready to shoot him.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's like, and they play Time in a Bottle and he starts running around doing all these funny things.
Yeah, that is a good part of that. That's a really funny movie. Oh, it's coming. Yeah, Spider-Man was in Civil War, and then the first Spider-Man movie came out after Civil War. So Spider-Man made his debut. The Marvel Cinematic Universe Spider-Man made his debut in Civil War, and then the next movie is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah,
which is a great movie. That's where Peter gets back, and he's been doing the normal Spider-Man stuff, but he keeps calling Happy, and he's like, "I'm ready for my next mission," and they're just kind of pushing him off, and he's fighting, the typical teenage thing. His girlfriend's dad is a supervillain, and then he finds out he's Peter, and then Peter's got to kill him, and it's just
And Michael Keaton, Batman.
Michael Keaton is in that. Michael Keaton is that guy. How old is Michael Keaton? Because he was Batman in his 30s, had to be.
I'd say mid-30s he was Batman, so
that's 30 years ago.
He's probably in his 70s.
He's got to be close to 70.
Yeah, I think he's about my dad's age, so mid-70s.
So he's been doing Lord's work when it comes to superhero movies.
Yeah.
Then you have Doctor Strange. I like Doctor Strange. I like the movies franchises.
I do too.
I think they're good. I think it's a fun take on it. He brings a different dynamic to it because he's also funny.
Yeah.
Like Doctor Strange is also funny.
I didn't like that last Doctor Strange movie. It was too
Which one?
Dark.
Multiverse of Madness?
Yeah.
That's one of the new ones I was talking about.
Yeah.
You don't like that one?
No.
I like it. I watched it again just to see if I liked it, and I do. I was confirmed.
I
confirmed my own suspicions that I did like it. Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's always good. It wasn't an independent study.
It's not a confirmation bias at all. I was like, I like this. Oh, yeah, that's right. I do like it.
Did you write that down?
I did. I wrote it down as a
voice
note.
recording.
Yeah.
Note to self. I like this.
Yeah. Note to self. I was correct. I do like this. Black Panther. Just good.
Yeah,
Not
just good.
Great. I like the movie. I like him as an actor.
I like better the interplay with Black Panther and the other superheroes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. But obviously they wanted to get his origin story out there top.
Oh yeah,
had to. Forward.
It was a good movie.
Thor Ragnarok.
Yes.
Which is one of my favorites.
One of my favorites too.
So funny. Such a funny movie. That's when he meets his friends. Right? Is that the one where he meets his friends? The guy with the arm, with the knife arm.
Oh, the giant rock thing?
Yeah.
That dude is hilarious.
He's so funny. Thor? And that little squishy thing, Bob or whatever it's called. Yeah.
The two pals, Mutt and Jeff.
That one, I mean, it's just a funny movie and it's good. And you still have the ending where he's awesome.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is just a great movie. It just really is a great movie.
The interplay between him and the Hulk.
Yeah, it's
when
so
the Hulk
funny.
refused to be anything but the Hulk. That was good.
When he's about to fight him and he's like, I know him. He's a friend from work.
It's a friend.
Then you have Black Widow. I liked it. Did you see it?
Yeah.
It was just.
I've seen all of them.
Yeah, it's just all right.
Yeah.
It's just okay.
I'm not a fan of superheroes that bring nothing to the table other than some gymnastic ability.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay.
Well, it's just
and she's good at interrogating people when they're interrogating her. Okay.
But superheroes aren't in the interrogation business. So
she's got no money. She's not like super rich where she can just buy all these trinkets and stuff.
Yeah. It's a funny concept that you have Hawkeye and her, and they're like, boy, you know who we need is Iron Man, the Hulk, and then the dude with the arrow, and the girl that can kind of kick a little hard. It may slow somebody down. But it's still a good movie. There's some funny stuff in it, and it's a good movie. Then you have Infinity War, which is the beginning of like, this is awesome. Yeah. This is the coolest thing. In the beginning of that movie where he beats up the Hulk, and you're almost sitting in your chair like, when they say we have a Hulk, and the Hulk comes out, and you're like, yeah, and then you're like, oh boy,
yeah, and Thanos beats him up,
easily. That's just it's just a good movie. There's a lot of oh boy, what the heck happened here?
Now wait a second.
Yeah.
Wasn't that I could be mixing the timeline up, the universe timeline.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the reason the Hulk was on Ragnarok was because he felt so bad about getting beat up by Thanos.
He was on Ragnarok because he why the heck did he go to Ragnarok? He went to Ragnarok after Age of Ultron. Yeah, at the Age of Ultron.
Oh, okay.
I'm not calling it. He went to the whatever planet he was on. Yeah. After that, they were trying to track him. He turned the trackers off, and he flew there because something happened in that one that he was like ashamed that something happened, and he didn't want to. I forget exactly now what it was, but he went there, and that's where he was the champion fighting everybody.
We're going to go back just a second. On Ragnarok, Jeff Goldblum's character.
So funny.
Oh, my gosh.
The melting stick.
Yeah, and she said slaves.
Yeah.
His assistant said slaves. He goes, no, prisoners with jobs.
Yeah. Jeff Goldblum is just funny.
He's
funny. A funny guy. Ant-Man and the Wasp, fine.
Yeah.
I don't even like to spend that. I'll watch it if I'm like, I'm stubborn in the fact that like, even if I don't like it, if I'm watching it in order, I'm watching it in order.
Well, you've got to because those little nuggets that you see.
This skipped it now. Oh boy. My website just decided to change on me all of a sudden, but we can keep cracking forward. Oh, here it is. Then after Ant-Man and the Wasp, we have Avengers Endgame, so there wasn't a lot of time between Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, and Endgame is like unbelievable.
That's a great movie.
Unbelievable movie.
Even for a superhero movie, it is a great movie.
Yes, it's every part of it. I'm like, whoa, this is amazing. As they go through the whole thing that they're going through, it's just an unbelievable movie.
Tell me that wouldn't have been awesome though, if at the end of Endgame, when everybody's coming back alive, if all of a sudden you see, Wolverine.
Oh, if the X-Men had been part of it.
And Professor X and all those, if they just come rolling out.
If the X-Men had been part of that, I think they probably could have ended this universe, like the Marvel universe, and been like, we'll start it over again.
We're done here.
Because that was like if Wolverine walked out and like put his claws out, you'd be like, come on with
and Professor X gets in his head.
Yeah, come on with it. Like he's like controlling Thanos' mind, like something like that. I don't know, but it's awesome. Such a good movie. Then there's Spider-Man: Far From Home. So Endgame ended that phase or whatever you call it, and then Spider-Man: Far From Home is technically still in that phase, I believe, because it's like he's dealing with the repercussions of what happened during the Endgame, and that's just like he's coming back. Everybody's been back from the blip. He's trying to figure out his thing. Is he going to be the new Tony Stark? Is he going to take it over?
Right.
All this kind of like all that. The normal teenage issues. Are you going to be the new genius billionaire superhero? It's a good movie. And the guy that what's his name that plays the bad guy? Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Good movie.
He's in the new Roadhouse.
I can't wait for that movie. I'm so excited. Conor McGregor looks hilarious in that movie. Then here, moving forward, we'll just run through these quick because I know you haven't probably seen most of these, but we'll run through them quick. And then we can kind of tie a bow on it. These are the ones that are working through their way on the new phase. You have Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
That was good.
Not a bad movie.
I enjoyed that movie.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
I've watched that a couple times. Pretty good. The Eternals,
I didn't even watch
It's
it.
this. They're all like these people that are like oh my, they're basically gods.
Are they kind of like X-Men, or are they more like
no.
Thor
They're
type?
like celestials, basically, like these things that are never dying, like these crazy powerful things that it's just that can't be killed or what they're these things that have been here forever.
I guess the Eternals would.
Yeah, they help build the pyramids, kind of deal.
Oh, okay.
Now they're just living through it. So
maybe they know that scientist that you're a fan of.
They probably know him personally. Yeah, I bet. Graham Hancock.
That's it.
Yeah. Then there's Spider-Man: No Way Home, which is a phenomenal movie.
Which one was that? What's the storyline?
Spider-Man: No Way Home is when he is. There's that one. Oh, that's the one where he meets Doctor Strange.
Okay.
And that's where the 3 Peter Parkers come together.
That was pretty good.
I like that one because when all 3 Peter Parkers come together and he's fighting, guys from different, like Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man.
That was clever. I like they did that, and that brought in my favorite Spider-Man from all the Spider-Man movies. Not Tobey, but Andrew Garfield.
You like him the best?
That's my favorite Spider-Man movie. I don't like the new Spider-Man. I like some of the movies, not all of them, but I don't. He's just too whiny, and I don't.
If you don't like whiny, Tobey Maguire's not your guy either.
Milk toast.
Yeah. He's like, well, stuff is hard. I have superpowers, but like, my girlfriend. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I like that. I know you said it's a little dark. It is dark.
It's dark.
It is dark.
It's dark, and it gives me the creeps.
But they have Reed Richards, Professor X is in it. They have the Illuminati.
Yeah,
I like that part. Love and Thunder, Thor: Love and Thunder.
I haven't seen that, but it sounds like I need to watch it.
You need to watch it. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I've watched it once.
I saw
Didn't really put too much thought into it.
Yeah,
it's okay. Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania. They're just tying in the new villain, and that's basically the purpose of that movie. They're trying to get Kang the Conqueror.
They really missed out on Kang the Conqueror because the actor just really messed up, and
yeah.
So in his personal life, so now they're kind of like, ugh, now what?
What should we do? They're like
they're having DC like problems
and
now.
Thanos is back. And they're like, okay. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That's a sad movie, man.
I started to watch it, but I couldn't get through it because it's like they phoned in everything.
Well, I know what they're trying to do, but it made me so sad. Like when Rocket's going through his stuff, it's just like it's too sad.
I couldn't even watch the whole thing. That's how bad it was to me, anyway.
And then to tie this up, the Marvels, which is just, like not good. It's just not good.
What's it about?
It's Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and there's Rochambeau what was that? Her friend, Captain Marvel's friend from back when she was in flight school.
Yeah.
It's her daughter, and she's got hit by some crazy light beam from the Scarlet Witch.
That's how you become a superhero.
And then she was a superhero, and she's like, well, now I'm also super. And they get tied up, and they're changing powers, and it's like, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, this needs Thor. This needs a Thor touch.
Yeah.
Like if he came in with Stormbreaker, I'd be like, all right, this is a good movie. Yeah. but they didn't. So anyway, I've been watching them, so I thought it'd be topical for me personally. I know it's not topical for everybody, but they're supposed to be coming out with new ones. Maybe they're just lulling us because Endgame was such a high, and maybe they're just kind of lulling us back to where
I think the market is saturated. I think it is. Because Endgame was so good, and it tied all the really good movies, the Marvel movies, it tied them up in this nice bow.
Yep.
And everyone's like, okay, let's try something else, and let's not rebadge and remake another Ghostbusters, which they continue to do, or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's do something new and original. Probably there's only 7 or 8 stories that you can tell.
Yeah.
But I think people are kind of tired of it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And they tried some TV stuff too, which we don't need to go into. Which actually Loki was pretty good.
Loki was good.
Yeah, Loki was good.
She-Hulk, I tried watching one of those. I was like,
I watched the first 10 minutes.
I'd rather watch paint dry.
Yeah, I watched the first 10 minutes of the first episode, and I was like, no. They tried Moon Knight.
I remember seeing it advertised. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I wouldn't even, unless somebody makes a bet that you can't sit through the whole series of Moon Knight. There's no reason to watch it.
I don't know if I could do that.
So that's why I think it's a fun thing to talk about. I do love them. I can go back and watch them now. I have my fingers crossed, and I'm going to think positively that the new slew of Marvel movies will start to get back into, because I think if you just looked at Iron Man and those first couple movies as like your basis that the rest of it was going to be that good, you probably be like, it's not going to be as good as it got.
Yeah.
But it kind of swelled up and got way better as it went along.
Right.
So, and maybe they just need a unity movie where like some superheroes get together and you get like that, like the first Avengers, where you're like, oh yeah, I can get behind these guys. And
right.
you get a little bit more motivated.
It depends on the leadership. It also depends on the chemistry of the actors.
Yeah, that's right. That's fair too.
Because if they're unnatural together, then no one wants to watch it. No one cares.
Well, cool. Well, I appreciate you sitting through that and talking.
That was good.
I love it. I
might watch some of these that we talked about.
You probably were. Some people who listen to this right now are going to go home and watch the Marvel movies. I guarantee it. So, maybe we'll make a post where you tell us your favorite Marvel movie.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, and you tell us your favorite.
Contact our intern Abby,
and we'll ask her to make a post that says, "Tell us your favorite Marvel superhero movie."
Yeah, maybe tag them on social media.
Yeah, tag them. Tag who?
That superhero account.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
And then it might get some traction.
Yeah, there we go. We'll go viral.
I'll call Abby the intern after this.
Okay.
And see if she can do that.
Yeah. Take a note, a voice note.
Note to self.
Yeah, note to self. Tell intern Abby to make post. Love, Adam.
Warm regards.
Yeah. All right.
Best.
All right, we appreciate you guys. Thanks for sitting in and listening with us. Until next week, this has been Mishmash Men.
Good day.